Ross.
And I am your other host, Jordan Bearden.
And we are here today just to do an everything else fun episode.
Yep. We thought we were going to be going with an interview with our boss, Pastor Mike, but we figured, we just needed some time. We've been going deep.
Yeah.
We went deep with our last episode with our wives. And so we just wanted a chance to come back up for air.
Yeah.
Chill out, talk about whatever.
Get some more prep in for the next episode.
Exactly. We're really excited about that one.
But we got to start it off with coffee, man. So tell our listeners and viewers, YouTube, which coffee we are drinking today, because you provided the coffee today.
I sure did, my friend. I sure did. So we are drinking an Alaskan brand of coffee called Raven's Brew. Raven's Brew was a brand that was founded in Ketchikan, Alaska. And it actually started in September of the year I was born, 1992. The golden year.
I was 8.
Well, that's okay. We can't all be born the greatest year ever. But no, this is an Alaskan brand of coffee. The particular type of coffee that we're drinking is called Double Dead, which is kind of an ironic name because it has double the amount of caffeine as a normal cup of coffee. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's espresso level.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'll be getting the jitters like I did the last episode. But it's got a little bit of a kick to it.
Right.
Some of the notes you're going to taste are some darker chocolate, some nuttier tones to the flavor as well.
Look at this guy picking up on coffee tones.
I'm learning a thing or two from Mr. Self-Proclaimed Coffee Snob over here. But I really like this coffee. I just saw this at one of the stores up here, and it's an Alaskan brand. It's more caffeine, which I'm always a fan of. Probably not the best for me, but you know what? Here we are.
And in no way, shape, or form are we sponsored by Raven's Brew.
Exactly. You're welcome, Raven's Brew.
But if Raven's Brew would like to sponsor us,
hey,
give us a call.
Yeah, talk to us. We'd like that a lot.
All right. Well, here's to not sleeping tonight.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's a dark coffee.
Yes, it is.
And it's made in the French press, as you can see here.
And I've noticed the difference. I've had both the ground version of this as well as the whole bean ground up into a French press version of this. And it's amazing the differences of the notes and the flavor that you get from both ways.
Yeah.
Like the ground version of this, it tastes good, but I'm really picking up the chocolate, more of like the nuttiness in the flavor of this.
Yeah.
Definitely dark.
Yeah, when you have whole bean coffee, a lot of times when people grind it right away, it's releasing all those gases and everything that's in the bean. And so you want to drink ground coffee within a couple days of it being ground. Otherwise, you don't get the pure flavor of the bean. So we have grinders. So I brought a grinder in here for the office staff. And so this was just ground up for us just 10, 15 minutes ago.
Man, I'm spoiled on that grinder, man. Whole bean coffee just hits different.
I know that you drink this same coffee in the Keurig because we have one of those little refillable K-cups, right?
Yep.
What kind of flavor differences do you see between when you drink it in the K-cup or when you drink it in the French press?
Let me just get you that second sip here, my friend. I think it's the best way I can explain it is everything just kind of tastes more pronounced. I really get a sense of the chocolates. It's really dark chocolate, the flavor of this coffee, but I also like the nuttiness, the chocolate. It's more pronounced in the French press than what I could get from making it in the Keurig. And again, the Keurig, I've tried it with just the pre-ground version. I've actually done freshly ground whole bean version of that in the Keurig. And I mean, there is a little bit of a difference in the profile, but the French press, everything is just more pronounced.
Yeah.
I get a fuller flavor.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and it's very robust because you get all the oils and the sediment and everything that's still sitting in the coffee, right? And so everything is very robust in the French press.
It is.
Yeah. So
you're turning me into a coffee snob, my friend.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
I'm here for it.
Well, I wanted to start off just this fun podcast today with just kind of talking about our job a little bit.
Mhm.
We've had some fun times with this podcast so far. A lot of things have been happening, and actually been able to have conversations with a lot of people.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen it yet, our last episode we did our first Jesus as Your Hero
Yeah.
podcast, where Derek was able to share his story.
Mhm.
So that's both on our podcast, anywhere you can listen to podcasts, as well as his videos up on our YouTube.
Yep.
And so
I'm so proud of
yeah,
Derek
you
too. I
did a
mean,
great
like
job.
he did an amazing job, and I'm really proud of him for being so vulnerable and transparent with his story. And what a testimony,
Yeah,
man!
yeah,
What a testimony of God's goodness.
yeah. So happy that he was able to share a lot of that. And so I know we both have talked to a few people about sharing their stories on the podcast with Jesus as their hero.
Mhm.
We've got a couple people we've asked here from the church. I've asked my brother, who's been in the Air Force for 20 years and has been in war, and so I'd love really to hear about his story. And yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. So we're going to post those every other week on our opposite weeks of when we do our podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the goal. Just like every other week, we just want to try to keep getting stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, like really, we want to be able to share stories, keep conversations happening, and put more stuff out.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was going to ask you the question. So, what's your favorite part of your job? About what you do, about being a pastor here at Creekside? What's your favorite part of what we do?
I really feel like my favorite part is the fact that I have flexibility to not only lead and teach people um, musically and spiritually, but that I can also grow in my musical crafts and my spiritual life as well. It's like, um, when I first started, I was the worship pastor. My title's been kind of renamed and retitled as a creative arts pastor, and we wanted that to be more all-encompassing as worship is not just music, but it goes so much deeper than that. With my retitle happening, like I'm over more than just music. I'm over a lot of like creative outlets and facets and ways that we can worship God creatively. um, but it's like I love the thing I love about my job is that it's not just being able to lead and disciple people through these creative outlets, but it's also being able to take time and grow myself as well. I know that I'm being supported in that. Um, I mean, just for example, my skill on the acoustic guitar has gotten so much better since my time here at Creekside than any time beforehand. And it's just like I'm encouraged to keep growing, keep training myself, and keep becoming a better disciple of in a better steward of my gifts. I guess that's a better way to say it. I'm encouraged to be a good steward of the gifts that God has given me. And I want to be, like God has given his best when he gave his son. And I don't want to give anything less than my best when I take the stage and I'm leading people in the cause of worshiping him.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
And the fact that I get to lead people and have conversations about music and life and it doesn't get better than that, man.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. I really have to say the favorite part of what I do. So I'm the pastor of adult discipleship here at Creekside. My favorite part is just the people. My main job is to disciple, like this, to talk to people and to lead people and to teach people. And even today, I got to go have lunch with one of our church people here that I haven't had lunch with yet, or actually really even got to know very well. And so we were talking a couple Sundays ago, and I'm like, dude, I don't know you very well, and so let's go to lunch.
That's awesome.
And so like we got to have a great conversation today. It really, for that to be my job to talk, I can do that really well.
My man.
Right? And so I know my daughter will be like, Dad will talk to anybody. And that's true. I will talk to anybody. People standing behind me in the grocery store to whatever, right? And so I actually got to go on a podcast with another podcaster just a couple weeks ago.
That's right. You were telling me about that.
It's just been and was able to have a conversation with a complete stranger. I don't even know this guy's name still. I know where he's from, and I kind of know a little bit of his story. That's it. It was just a conversation as complete strangers, and that's what we do. That's my job, like to have conversations and disciple and to build people up. And I mean, a lot of my job is to build programming, right, and to run events and to have our missional communities running and things like that. But a lot of that just involves getting to know people, getting to know their strengths, getting to know where we can plug them in, and building them up to do those things, right? So it's not like you're going to just find a guitar player and just throw them into playing the guitar every week, right?
Woo!
What's that process look like?
Well, my process, it always starts with a conversation. Let's just have a touch point where I get to know who you are. Uh, People will tell me that they're interested. I find out like, how do you want to audition? What part of creative arts are you interested in? 9.9 times out of 10 is the music. So I'll ask them what instrument they play. Are they a vocalist? Whatever. They kind of give me the initial rundown. And then I'll send them an email with a bunch of like different tracks and resources to practice with. And I'm like, I want you to learn these songs. I want you to learn to do these things. Come in, let me hear you in person. I'm going to let you play against a click track. I'll be singing. You know, I let them run with all the equipment. I give them in-ear monitors. I let them feel what it would be like to serve on a Sunday with all the equipment and everything. Once I hear them and I see where they're at musically, then I'll say, okay, let's take away from the music. Let's just have a conversation. And then I get to know them personally and spiritually. I ask them their story. I ask them a couple of key questions like, you know, how would you define worship? Who has Jesus been to you in your life? Tell me what you think the duties of a worship leader look like. Like, do we have a mutual understanding of what it's going to look like with you being on my team? And once we find that kind of like that common ground, if we're clicking, like if I feel like this person has a lot to give, they're in a good place, I feel like they could be a good addition to the team, then I'm like, okay, you're in.
Yeah.
So I make sure that they're where they need to be musically, and then I make sure they're at a good place spiritually before I give them the green light.
Yeah. And that's also an ongoing process, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a one-time deal. You're continually discipling them and building them up. And you do a great job with the band up there on Sundays.
I appreciate that, man.
They sound so great.
Dude, I'm proud of every single person on that team. And it's like, you know, I never ask for perfection because it's impossible. We're not perfect. We're sinners, all of us. But I do ask for excellence. And I think that's a very appropriate thing to ask for from my team. And they give it every single time that they serve. And you are right, man. It is an ongoing process. I remember I had someone audition with me for drums. And when they first auditioned with me, I was like, you know, the heart is there. They would make such a great addition to the team, but the skill level was just like right below the bar. And so I was like, if you can commit to 6 months of meeting with me personally and letting me give you lessons and training you, then you can be on the team. And they said yes. They committed. And I met with this person. I think I met with them like every other week or so for an hour, and we just ran over rudimentary stuff, basic drum theory and how to lay down a beat, the role of a drummer in a band. And this person met my expectation. And discipleship was happening even before they were officially on the band. And I mean, that's one of the things I love about my job.
Yeah.
It's like I get to help train people and make disciples.
Yeah.
And music is the vehicle by which I can do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's a whole nother future podcast we want to talk about. We want to talk about discipleship and what it means to be a disciple. I mean, really, that could be quite a few podcasts. These things are just an hour long.
That could be a series, man.
It could be a series, absolutely.
Like that could be a multi-episode season.
Yeah, and possibly even get some guest hosts on. We'll see.
Maybe some sponsors. Let's see what happens.
Well, let's have some fun with this podcast today. So I threw out a question on our Slack a couple weeks ago. Or no, not, it was a couple days ago.
A couple days ago.
And so the question was, because it's because one of our coworkers, actually Sherry and Rhonda and I were having a conversation. And I have never seen The Sound of Music.
Really?
Really. So I've seen snippets of it. My wife likes it. You know, I can probably sing along to one of the songs. The hills are alive.
Oh, music. Why
Right?
aren't you on my team?
Right. You don't want that. But I had never really seen the full movie. And they looked at me like, are you crazy? And I was like, but to be fair, have you seen all the movies that I love? And so I threw out my top 5 movies, all right? Except for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, always number one, but it seems to be a lot of our number ones and stuff.
I would say Lord of the Rings is the one movie that we can all agree on.
Sure.
It's so good.
Sure. That and Harry Potter. I feel like we have a lot of Harry Potter fans as well on our staff.
I'll argue that I'm the biggest fan, but I also want to keep my pride in check, so I don't want to openly say that I'm a bigger fan than anyone else.
I had coffee trivia. Maybe we can have Potter trivia.
Dude, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me with a good time.
So I figured let's roll through our lists and kind of talk about them. All right. So on my top 5 list, I had Remember the Titans.
What a great movie.
Well, fantastic movie, right?
It's been years since I've seen that movie. But
really?
Dude, I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember the big moments. And dude, that was a movie that just hit you in every way.
Yeah. Literally, it's a football movie, so literally too.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it and I was like, I have a concussion.
I just remember, I know I've seen this movie numerous times. When I was substitute teaching, I know it's one of those films that I would show pretty periodically. And so I've seen it a lot. What I love about this movie is, one, just the heart, right? The heart. It really goes through time in America. That was such a divisive time, right? And seeing this coach come into a white school, black coach to a white school, and coaching this team and having black players on the team for the very first time. It just had a lot of heart and a lot of heart for a time period that didn't have a lot of heart, right? And it was very uplifting, the whole movie. I just thought it was just a fantastic movie to show kind of what America was going through at the time, right? Plus, I love football.
Well,
so that helps too.
You can never go wrong with some good old-fashioned football. I'm trying to remember, man. That's the movie with the scene where the dude's in the hospital bed and the other player comes in and said, "Don't you see the resemblance? That's my brother."
Yeah.
Is that the movie?
Yep.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That part rips my heart out, and it's like, oh man,
And knowing those two were like bitter enemies throughout the entire movie too, until the very end, because one was white, one was black, and it was like they felt like they were coming and taking their spots, right, on the football team.
Yeah.
But they worked together and showing what a team that can work together looked like.
That's what it's all about, man. Unity.
Yeah, for sure. So what's one of yours?
Oh man. Okay, so we already talked about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I don't actually have my list ready. I'm not prepared.
Sorry, let me go. I'll go.
But I will at least say this is actually gonna be really silly, but random movie that came to my mind was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Yes.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes, you can judge me. That's okay. There's no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus. So what can you do? I don't know what it is about that movie, but the writing was hysterical.
Really?
And I feel like I love a movie with a good story, but I also love a movie that's just funny, that you can laugh at and cut up with, and there's no rhyme or reason for it whatsoever, but it's just a movie to waste time with. And I feel like for the SpongeBob movie, especially when it first came out, I was younger. But it's just funny, dude.
Yeah.
Like some of the scene changes, the brief moments of facial expression, and just everything about it, like it's just funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can honestly tell you, I've never seen a full episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
And I don't judge you for that, man.
Yeah, you can. It's okay.
I'm not going to. I'm going to choose not to judge you because there's no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Come on now.
I think second on my list that I sent out was Fight Club. You ever seen it? What's the number one rule about Fight Club?
You don't talk about Fight Club.
You don't talk about
so
Fight
do we
Club.
need to just move on?
Yeah, we need to move on.
Okay, so my next one.
That movie had such great twists and turns. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just the story aspect to it. Not expecting what was going to happen next in the movie. Those are the types of movies I really enjoy watching. I love watching the movies that has me guessing. Right, like I'm trying to figure out what's happening the entire movie. The story's got to be good. It has to be riveting. It has to keep me moving. Like even with books, like if it doesn't hold me within the first 100 to 150 pages, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like you have to capture me. And so I think that's what Fight Club did really well. It captured the audience from the get-go and had you questioning what is happening, what's going on.
That's good, man.
Right?
Yeah, Fight Club was really good. I mean, especially the ending, when you actually realize what is going on, you do not see that coming at all.
Yeah. No spoilers.
No spoilers allowed. Not today.
Now, I know one of the movies on my list, I think you had told me that you had not seen. And I was baffled by that. The Dark Knight.
No, I have seen The Dark Knight.
You have seen Batman The Dark Knight. So one of our coworkers hasn't seen it, and I don't remember which one. But I was baffled by that.
I am baffled by that because that movie is a classic.
Classic, right? Christopher Nolan, what he did with Batman.
Dude, Heath Ledger's Joker went down as one of the greatest Joker portrayals of all time.
So excellent.
And it's like, man, like that, especially that specific movie, just like, I became a Batman fan. I'd always loved Batman, but especially after that movie, I was sold.
Yeah.
Like, Christian Bale's Batman was so good. Yeah. But then Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's the Joker. He was just phenomenal. Like, I like the Batman in those movies. I like Christian Bale. For me though, he didn't make the best Bruce Wayne. Like that's my favorite superhero by far. Batman. Love all the Batman comics. I love all the Batman games, the video games, the comics, the shows. I go back to the animated series. And so just Christian Bale as Batman was a good Batman. But as Bruce Wayne, did not make a great Bruce Wayne. My favorite Batman, and audience, if you want to argue me into this, that's completely okay. You can bash me on YouTube, but just leave a thumbs up, please.
You better not make anyone dislike this video.
I know, right? My favorite Batman is Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1 and number 2, the originals.
Yep. Dude, Michael Keaton was a good Batman.
He was a good Batman.
He was a good Batman.
Good Bruce Wayne, too.
Yep.
And just the way he portrayed himself with Nicole Kidman in the first one and Michelle Pfeiffer in the second one, he just made a good Bruce Wayne. A good philanthropist, billionaire guy. He was a good Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Do you have any more that you wanted to share before I moved on?
Man,
to the next one?
I have another comedy.
Oh, okay.
So Napoleon Dynamite.
That is a good one.
That's a great
I didn't even think about that.
Man, it's so funny. So I'm actually really excited for this. So I have a volunteer who wanted to throw a party for the worship team here at Creekside. So this Saturday, we're actually having a Napoleon Dynamite themed holiday party. And I'm stoked because she's got all these great ideas to incorporate themes from the movie into this party. And I'm just sitting here like, this is going to be a hit. Because that movie is fantastic. It's the dumbest movie ever.
So dumb.
But the quotability is a 10 out of 10.
For sure. The first time I watched Napoleon Dynamite, I thought it was so stupid. Like, I just remember just thinking to myself, what am I watching? Like, this is dumb, right? But then the second time you watch it, you're like, I appreciate the dumb.
Like, it was intentional.
Yeah.
The dumb that they put into it.
Yeah.
Man, the quotes are just, they're amazing.
Are you drinking skim milk? Because you know you don't need to.
But I think one of my favorite is Rex Kwando.
Rex Kwando, yeah.
You think you want us around us kick to the face while they're wearing these bad boys? Forget about it.
I love the scene where they're trying to test the time machine, and Napoleon gets on the time machine and says, "Your time machine doesn't work." I could have told you that.
Yes. Kid.
Kip.
Oh my word.
Oh, that movie was hilarious, but so dumb.
It was so dumb.
You lose brain cells like every time you watch the movie.
You do, and yet at
Yeah.
the same time, it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, kind of worth it.
A little bit.
You know, this wasn't on my list, but another quotable movie, one of my number one quotable movies of all time, Forrest Gump.
Oh, what a classic, dude.
Forrest Gump.
What a classic.
Yeah.
Dude, everything from the music to the plot to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the one thing I loved about that movie is the fact that they took different moments in history and just inserted his character into it.
Yeah.
And like, bro, it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just every time I see a ping pong table, I'm like, there wasn't a whole lot to do there, but there was ping pong.
Bro, your Forrest Gump accent. That was fantastic.
I was running and running, and something just jumped up and bit me on the buttocks.
Not the buttocks. Oh no.
You want to see it? Oh man, that
Jimmy.
movie.
Man, Jenny was like peas and carrots.
Mm-hmm. I may not know what love is, or I may not be a smart man, but I do know what love is.
Come on now.
I love that movie. It's so quotable.
I love it, dude. I feel
Yeah.
our impersonations are making a feature in this video.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
What an amazing movie, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, just such a straight classic.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what, someone was saying, like, I love a good comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love the movies that are just time wasters. You can laugh at them or whatever, but I love a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the classic movies like Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank was a good one.
That was another classic.
Yeah.
And just stories that can be retold
Yeah.
and are just original.
Yeah. Dead Poet Society. Have you ever seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one. I remember Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Yep. Yeah.
Another classic. But I mean, like, you have people like Robin Williams, who was just a classic actor.
Everything while Robin Williams was in was great.
And the versatility that he had, too,
Yeah.
was just to go from playing someone on Good Will Hunting to being the genie in Aladdin, and just like you have everything in between.
Best genie ever too.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Pour one out, bro.
So story-wise, you talk about story. I love the Matrix movies.
Dude, I love the Matrix movies.
All of them. I don't dislike any of them. Like, I think there are some that are better than others for sure. Like, number one by far is the best. Right.
Oh yeah.
And they progressively get worse. However, I still like them. I still enjoy watching them.
I do too. I feel like there was a story that was there,
Mm-hmm.
and you see a kind of like overarching story of like war, man versus machine, and everything. But it's funny, you know. Like, yes, I'll watch the originals, but truth be told, I kind of like the TV censored versions a little better, just because the bleep outs and the word replacements that they threw in make me laugh, because it's such a like 1999 censored thing.
Yeah.
Like they cut one of the language things, and you hear him say "Jeepers Creepers," that thing's real.
Jeepers Creepers.
Who says that anymore? Like,
Wow.
Jeepers Creepers.
Going back to Scooby-Doo time or something.
Oh my word. It just makes me laugh, and you get a movie that's supposed to be so dramatic, so like dark, like The Matrix, and you throw in words like Jeepers Creepers, and I'm like, you just lost me.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Those movies I just love. You know, again, a quotable movie. You know, every time I sit down with a person with sunglasses, I'm like, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, bro, Hugo Weaving annihilated that role.
Yes.
Like, he was made for that.
So
role.
good. I mean, he's good in everything he is in, though.
Yeah,
You know, Lord of the Rings, he was excellent just in those movies.
I just feel like his voice, his delivery of the line, all I hear is Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the way that he delivers the line. I cannot hear or see anything else.
Yeah, for sure. He did fantastic. Such a great actor and everything. And then, I don't know if you've seen these because you were a little young.
That's fair.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the originals.
Okay. TMNT, was alive and active when I was little.
Okay.
I can't really tell you much about it
Okay.
because I was so young,
All right.
but I can tell you I was a fan.
Okay. Which turtle would you be?
Couldn't tell you.
Really? Oh, I'm a pure Donatello.
Okay.
I'm a Donatello. Yeah, all the way.
Okay.
So each turtle has like a personality to them, and they're all different. So you got Leonardo. He's the leader. He's the smart one. He's the strategic one, right? Always putting together strategy and just he's the leader of the team, right? You got Raphael, the hothead, super angry all the time. Just he's just a hothead. Michelangelo, silly one, always one prankster and playing jokes and all these other things. You got Donatello, who's just kind of like that kind, smart guy. Well, kind of like the brains almost a little bit. And so I was always Donatello.
That's what's up.
Yeah, the book guy.
The book guy.
The book
okay,
guy.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
That's appropriate.
So, do you have any other movies to add to the list?
I'm trying to think, man. I mean, we could literally go down the list.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones.
Keep going, man. It's just like movies after movies after movies. It's good stuff. Back to the Future.
Okay. Yes, I've seen. I can't remember when we did this, but I feel like Marissa and I were actually still back in Georgia when her dad actually had us watch all three Back to the Future movies. Because truth be told, I hadn't really watched them from beginning to end before.
Okay.
I had seen clips and I knew kind of the basics about the movie, but I hadn't actually really seen the movie from top to bottom. And so we actually went through and watched all of them, and they were so good.
Yeah.
Like what a great trilogy.
Yeah. And that's one of those trilogies that kind of just each movie was as good as the last. Right? And people will argue which one is their favorite one. You know, the original Indiana Jones movies were kind of like that, right?
Oh yeah.
Like everybody had their favorites. They were all better than the last until you got Crystal Skull. We don't talk about Crystal Skull.
Sorry, Crystal Skull.
Right, but it's one of those trilogies that everybody had their favorite one because they're all just as good as the other ones.
Yep.
Yeah, Ark of the Covenant for me, all the way. I was the Ark of the Covenant Indiana Jones guy.
Oh man, that one had some scenes in it that were kind of.
Temple of Doom did too, though. Temple of Doom was like guy who pulls out the guy's heart from his chest.
Did we throw up a little viewer discretion advice?
Not on this one. Not on this one.
Okay. This is conversation.
Oh
man, I remember, watching those movies, and when those parts came up, I was like, "Ooh, that's extreme." Shield your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you definitely have those Shield Your Eyes movies too. The Shining was one of my favorites as well for like Shield Your Eyes, but like such a great thriller horror movie. It's not like The Shining is not a scary movie. Yeah. It's just a mental psychological thriller that can scare people. And Bates Motel was kind of that way. I don't know if you ever saw that show.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've seen that one.
No, it goes back to like Psycho. I don't know if you ever watched Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
I have watched that one.
Yeah.
It's funny. So when Marissa and I were in college, before we started dating, college we were actually offered a film history class. Yeah. And we would actually have days where we would watch the classics and talk about the time period, the director, and everything. And one of the movies we watched was that one. We actually did a deep dive into the study and everything, and I was like, nice. I can appreciate that.
Nice. I had a film appreciation class in college where we watched all Alfred Hitchcock movies.
Lucky, sir. Lucky.
Yeah, so Psycho probably is one of my favorites. I also like Rear Window quite a bit. And all the remakes of Rear Window, I just like them. Just the story of it. And so even with this movie list, I didn't get into the crazy obscure movies like Ip Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's like kung fu. It's kung fu fantastic. It's a series on Netflix. It's not a series. It's a series of movies. But it's either the guy who trained Bruce Lee or the guy who was trained by Bruce Lee. This guy moves like lightning though. And it's so fun to watch these old kung fu masters. But fantastic movies.
Man, you start talking about Bruce Lee. Oh my word, the dude. I heard a bit of trivia once that they actually had to slow down the film in some of his movies because he moved so quickly you couldn't actually see the impact. So they actually had to like slow down the film in those combat scenes so you could actually see what he was doing.
Yeah.
The man was so fast.
Yeah, so such good movies too. His movies were all fantastic. I, I like the karate, kung fu. I always enjoyed watching Jackie Chan. Even
Yeah.
some of his movies are just fantastic, and he's so funny. But man, we could keep going on movies forever.
We totally
I,
could,
I
man.
love movies.
How about I throw a little question at you?
Yeah.
We have these. Let's talk about movies and whatever. Who are some of your favorite actors or actresses?
Oh, growing up,
Just yeah,
just
I guess overall.
over all of all time. I mean Jack Nicholson. I've always enjoyed Jack Nicholson. Ever since I saw The Shining, I was like,
All right, Johnny, here's the deal.
he's just a really good actor. And so somebody I like watching, and then oh goodness gracious, you're gonna put me on the spot there.
Yes, I am. Let's
when-
see how you do under
so,
pressure, my
When
friend.
I was younger, I thought Pauly Shore was hilarious.
Okay.
Pauly Shore, like watching Biodome, it was like another one of those movies. It's so stupid, but so funny. I think he made a movie called In the Army Now, and it was
Okay.
so dumb. But it just like I enjoyed watching him growing up. I'd have to say Robin Williams is up there though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Robin Williams.
yeah. Robin Williams is fantastic. Oh goodness, what's the guy's name that plays? Denzel Washington.
What an amazing actor, bro.
So fantastic.
What an amazing actor.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Everything he is in, it's good. Man,
He's gonna be in the new Gladiator 2 movie, right?
I'm not sure.
I feel like I saw a clip and he's in it.
Really?
Yeah,
That would be fantastic.
dude, I'm willing to see it just because of him.
That would be fantastic. Actresses wise, I can't name too many actresses that I just loved watching. Growing up, there's definitely a few that I liked better than others. Alicia Silverstone for me was big back in the day because of things like Clueless, and she was Batgirl in the Batman and Robin movie, which is awful. That's the Batman movie we don't talk about. Everybody, choose.
I feel like any movie where they try to bring Robin into the equation, they just miss the mark.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a shame.
Yeah. He could be so good.
Could be.
They have not done that well yet.
No, they haven't.
Nope. And I thought Christopher Nolan was going to do it because they teased it in his last Batman movie,
Yep.
but never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you seen the new Batman with not Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson?
Oh, Robert Pattinson. I haven't.
Oh, it's really good. And they're making a second one.
I heard about that, so I really want to see that movie. I remember seeing a clip of the trailer where he was just wailing on this guy, and it's like, I feel like one of the things about Christopher Nolan's Batman, I mean, the story was great, the music was great, it's iconic, but the combat scenes just kind of seemed a little off to me. Like, yeah, I feel like there was so much flurry and there was so much busyness in it that you didn't really see solid fighting and solid combat.
Right.
But when I saw that clip from Robert Pattinson's The Batman, like it just showed him walking up, wailing on the guy, beating him down all in one shot. I was like,
it's one of the reasons I love the series The Daredevil. The Daredevil was amazing for fight scenes, like so good. There's one in the first episode that's him in a hallway, and he's just taking dudes out left and right, and the whole time one clip. This guy had to be, and it really shows how tired he got, and just showing like the humanity of superheroes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Did you ever see the Daredevil then?
I never saw like the TV series. The only Don't judge me. The only Daredevil movie. Yeah, it was the movie. It was Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Yeah. It was that one.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah.
That's my experience with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
But the series is fantastic, and they're making a new one With
nice.
yeah, they're gonna bring everybody back for a new one with the Punisher, with the Daredevil, with Kingpin. They're all coming back for a new one.
Dude, Kingpin.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
and
gonna
the
be
guy who
good.
plays Kingpin in the new series, so good,
Oh, I'm excited.
so good. He's really, really good. The language, kids might want to be asleep.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. I appreciate that.
Yeah, kids might want to be asleep because of the language, but it's such a good series. So one more question before we move off of movies.
Okay.
Who would be your favorite movie composer?
Oh, dude. Okay.
There's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones, man, and I just.
Let me talk about mine, and then you can think about it.
Let me mull this one over,
Yeah.
but you tell me yours.
Yeah, Danny Elfman.
That's a solid choice, man.
Danny Elfman, because going back all the way to Edward Scissorhands, how good was that music?
It was beautiful, man.
Edward Scissorhands. You've got Nightmare Before Christmas,
which is iconic.
Yeah, you've got Beetlejuice, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of these old school movies, and Danny Elfman did such a great job with the music on these movies. And he works on a lot of the Tim Burton stuff, right?
Yeah.
And anything by Tim Burton, I love. I like the new Willy Wonka. I know, don't judge me for that one, but I thought it was a good rendition of Willy Wonka. But Danny Elfman just does a great job on those movies, and Tim Burton movies alone are just great.
Yeah.
Let alone, but with him as the composer for most of them, so good.
I feel like I've got two names come to my mind. First one is John Williams.
Of course.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the GOAT.
Of course. Yeah.
From everything from Indiana Jones to Harry Potter to Jurassic Park. I mean, all the blockbuster movies. You got John Williams, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his music is like another character in Star Wars.
Yeah, you hear that Darth Vader scene, and you automatically gives you a picture of who you should be thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his mastery of composing music and putting different themes to different people, and the music helps propel the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about John Williams. His music is just so masterfully done.
Yeah.
I feel like another one is Howard Shore.
I'm not super familiar with him.
I am trying to remember off the top of my head, but I want to say that Howard Shore composed the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Is that right? Okay.
Now, don't quote me on it. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I own it. But, let's just talk about the Lord of the Rings music for a second.
Lord of the Rings music was epic. It's right up there with Star Wars.
Yes.
For sure. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings, it's right up there.
Absolutely is.
I mean, the battle scenes for the music that they put in the battle scenes, the battle of Minas Tirith. Minas Tirith, thank you. It was it was just epic. You feel the battle, and you get pumped up during the scenes because of what he did with that music. Yeah.
I mean, you have the Hobbit's theme, and it's just so beautifully done. Man.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm in the Shire.
Yeah.
I'm eating my potatoes like Samwise Gamgee, and I'm like, life is good.
Yeah,
life actually makes sense.
A wizard's gonna pop out in a carriage somewhere, he's gonna tell me he's gonna be on his own timing. So
Wizard is their own time or late.
Yep.
Oh, Gandalf.
Gandalf, man, just another great actor that's portrayed many roles.
Yep.
Yeah. I missed one in actors, Patrick Stewart. I mean, how did I miss out on Patrick Stewart?
What a legend, man.
A legend. He's the only Star Trek I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
The Next Generation is the only Star Trek I can really stomach. I've tried Deep Space Nine. I've tried the original. I've tried Voyager. This Next Gen is by far just the best Star Trek, and it's only because of Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah.
Let's go, man.
I'm such a nerd right now.
It's okay, I'm here for it. That's why we have the podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
We're just a couple of nerds talking about the things that we enjoy.
Absolutely.
I mean, what kind of pastor would say, one of my favorite movies is the SpongeBob movie?
Yeah. Right?
This is where we are, man.
This is where we are. This is it. And we're we were in our offices talking the other day. We're like, we should tape something, but we just didn't know what we wanted to tape. We're just like, let's just be nerds and talk about whatever, right?
Doesn't get better than
So
that.
we're really good at that.
We are. I love it,
Oh
bro.
man. So I was telling you yesterday, I'm on a video game void right now. I just don't know what to play. So, all right. So Amanda and I have our video games that we enjoy playing together, right? We enjoy playing Mario Party together. We played a game It Takes Two, which I told you and Marissa about. One of the best cooperative games that couples can play together. So good. Um, but when I play solo games, I'm on a void right now. I tried the Star Wars game,
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. I
You were
tried
telling me about
that.
that.
I just couldn't get into it as much, and I know the second one's supposed to get a lot better, so I'm gonna go back to it eventually.
It could just be that you need a break from it. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I have those video games where you play through it and you just get to a point where you hit a wall.
Yeah,
And I think the best thing to do is just, okay, take a break,
Take a
walk
break.
away,
Yeah.
play another game or two, and then come back with fresh eyes.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden you start to get back into it.
yeah.
I remember suggesting something to you that, I'll talk about it again. Ghost of Tsushima
hmm
is a
Yeah.
great video game. Mild language, no sexual scenes, no nudity, no nothing like that. Intense gore though.
hmm
I will say the story is based out of, oh, I hope I'm getting this right, Japan in the 1200s.
Okay. Yeah.
So it is samurai.
hmm
It is that culture of honor and that kind of like lifestyle, that kind of
Sure.
religion and just like things like that. But the story behind it and just the character development, the twists, the turns, the way that the plot unfolds in front of you, it's just, I love the story. I love the open world aspect too. The visuals are just straight up cinematic.
hmm
Um, and the fighting is really well done too,
Yeah.
because it's samurai. You fight with a katana. It's like you get to master 4 different styles of samurai fighting, and the interchangeability between all of them is really good too.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that one for you.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out because I've really enjoyed a lot of the feudal Japan games and the old times of China as well, like Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors. Those were some of my favorite games back on the PlayStation games. That's definitely one of the ones I'll have to check out and really kind of dig into. I know for me, I re-downloaded Fortnite just so I can play with my daughter. She plays Fortnite, so it's just like I just in this void. So I'll have to check that out.
You should, man.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it'll just give you something new to play, a new story to learn, new characters to see their story and see how it unfolds. Like I said, there's one scene, I won't spoil it, but there's a very, very intense, gory scene that's part of the story. And it's like, as an artist, seeing that scene, I understand it. I understand why they put it in. Just a heads up though, it's intense.
Yeah.
So it's not until like pretty late into the game. But I mean, I really do think with the way that the story unfolds, I really think that you'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, for cinematic value, I think I'm gonna get back into Final Fantasy VII as well because they remastered it for the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
And so I told you a little bit about Final Fantasy.
You have.
Because you're into story games. Anything that has like an epic story.
Yep.
You got to check out Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy X. Those two games, cinematic value to them and the story value are so good. And so I've played through a lot of the Final Fantasies. X2 was horrible. I was playing 15 for a little while, or 16, whatever one wasn't online. But 7 just came out and got remastered by PlayStation 5. And it was the original PlayStation 1 game.
Ooh, okay.
And so with PlayStation 5 graphics, I'm really looking forward to checking it out. So listeners, viewers, if you have any recommendations for video games or something that Jordan and I should be checking out, leave a comment or something because I'm in a void. I need some help here.
Let me ask you this, man. So like we've kind of been talking to PlayStation games. You mentioned a couple of games that you play for the Switch.
Yeah.
For Nintendo. Do you like what other kind of like Nintendo games have you done before? Obviously, like you had me over. We played Cupheads.
Yeah, Cuphead.
Before.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was.
I'm sorry, Cuphead.
That's okay.
Even though there's two of them.
Yeah, even those two.
That's okay.
So the artistic value to Cuphead is it's pretty epic. Um, so that's a great game. And you need to come over again because we need to retry because we didn't make it very far.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I came over on a Sunday.
Oh, I
Was that
don't.
right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think on Monday after work or something like that. I don't.
I felt
remember,
like mentally I wasn't like all 100%.
It could have been Sunday after church.
So I feel like I need a redemption round.
Yeah.
More cognitively accurate and on my game.
Oh goodness. We play a lot of family games for the Switch. So like Mario Kart, Mario Party, Smash Brawl, like Smash Brothers, things like that.
Smash Bros.
All of the Mario games. I love Mario Odyssey. Mario. There's a. I do like Zelda. Those are great games. Yeah.
Yep.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, both great games. I never finished. What was the second one? Breath of the Wild.
Second one was Tears of the Kingdom.
I never finished Tears. You know, that's what I should do.
You should get back to Tears of the Kingdom. Man.
Yeah.
So I finished it.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I remember getting like right to the point where I could have gone on and faced the final battle and final boss and everything, but I wanted to try to go back to and just explore and discover and everything. I love that game so much because you literally have a world to explore.
There's so many caverns and underground stuff. It's crazy.
Like not only did you have
the end of the sky.
Yeah. Then like not only do you have the level on the surface, but then you have underground and you have in the sky lands to explore too.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
Yeah. There's a lot of exploration in that game. And I think that's what made me take a break from it too though. You know what I mean? Like there's so much to do and see in that game. Like you're almost a little overwhelmed with it.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's Mona, honestly, I actually kind of was apprehensive about getting it at first. I wanted it and I wanted to see what the story was like, but I had heard so much about the vastness and the breadth of the exploration and the freedom of what you could make, where you could go, things you could explore, that I was like, I have a full-time job and a family. Like, how can I handle all of this?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Like, should I do it? And then my wife bought it for me for my birthday. I was like, okay, here we go.
Digging in.
I'm digging in, and man, it is so good.
Yeah, it is a good game, and the art is fantastic. The story is fantastic. Both those games. I mean, let's be real. They're classics.
Yeah,
they will go down in history as classics.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, and they're right up there with the original Zeldas. Like for me, and I grew up playing those games. So Ocarina of Time and all of those. Like I grew up playing those games, and I'll say these two games, they're right up there.
Okay, you just said a word. I want to make sure I heard you right. Do you say ocarina or ocarina?
I said oak. It is ocarina, isn't it?
I believe it is.
It's Ocarina of Time.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't want to come across as prideful or anything, but like the only reason why I called you out on that is because growing up, that game was my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
It was my go-to game to explore, to escape from life, to have fun. Ocarina of Time was like my game, dude. And if anything else, I would just literally find a corner in the game, pull out the ocarina, and just like play songs.
Yeah.
As like a musician growing up, it was like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Just pull out the instrument, play a video game. Da 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 da. I'm like, this is life.
Do 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 do.
No.
Do 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 do.
Ding.
That's fantastic. And those that are old school will get that tune right away.
You're welcome. What a time to be alive.
There you go. You did it.
There it is.
So let's end our podcast with one last question.
Okay.
Because I know we're nearing the end of our time here.
Yep.
What is your and your family's favorite thing to do on vacation?
Vacation.
And again, I'm putting you on the spot, so I'll go to me and then while you mull it over. All right.
Okay.
Ours is to eat. Ooh. I love eating, and I know I've talked about this when I preach a lot, and so I've like purposely not included food in a lot of my sermons lately, because I do enjoy food and I enjoy eating and finding different cuisines and things like that. But one of our favorite things to do when we're traveling is to try the local hole in the walls, right? Like we'll ask locals when we're places. We're like, all right, what's your favorite place to eat? I don't want to go to Red Robin. I don't want to go to Applebee's. I don't want to go to whatever. I want your local favorite. Like, who has the best pizza? Who has the best Mexican in town? Who, you know what I mean? Like, tell me the best. I don't want the menus that I know, right?
Don't give me familiar. Give me something new.
Exactly. And
Okay.
so one of our favorite things to do when we go places is to find the local places. Like when we were in Arizona, I remember finding this like bruschetta place. All they served was different bruschettas.
Dude.
And it was so good. Like so good. And that's all we had to do on that vacation because it was so hot. Who goes to Arizona in August?
Oh, I'm
come
sorry.
on. Yeah,
I'm
like
so sorry.
so all there was to do was eat.
That's fair.
And so that's our favorite thing to do when we're on vacation though, is finding the local places. You know, even when we're driving, we have found some really cool diners, and we found one place. I can't even tell you where this place is. It's a burger joint off some highway that's like 15 minutes off the highway, but they had an Elvis burger or something along those lines. It's a peanut butter and jelly burger.
What in the world?
It was so good. Like I saw this on the menu, I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I have to try it.
My man.
Yeah, right. And so, but I got it, and I was like, oh, I did not regret this.
Wow.
But that's
peanut butter and jelly burger.
But that's what we like doing. We just like finding those weird things in those weird places, you know, and trying the local favorites. What about you guys?
So vacations have been really interesting so far, especially moving up here to Alaska because we haven't really had a Bearden family vacation yet. Our vacations have looked like going back to Georgia and same family. And every time we've gone with my wife's family to Flagler Beach, Florida, and they have an annual tradition where they will go to the same condo, sometimes get the same rooms at the same beach for around the same time of the year, and that's their family beach trip. And so our vacations have so far looked like just going to the beach with them. And honestly, that's some of the most fun. They're the kind of family that they pack up all their beach gear, their fishing rods, their beach chairs, all the stuff, and we'll wake up in the morning, eat something, and just go down to the beach and spend hours just soaking up the sun, enjoying the waves, listening to some good country music. And I put emphasis on the word good country music.
Not Florida Georgia Line.
Thank you.
Another one right here. You're leaving me hanging.
I'm sorry. I'm soaking in this moment.
Yeah, no Luke
appreciation and
no Morgan Wallen.
It's just the good stuff.
The good stuff.
And we may have some listeners disagree on what's good.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
You can be wrong.
Oh no. But man, it's so much fun, dude. Because I mean, I feel like vacations just take on a whole new meaning, especially when we're in ministry.
Yeah.
Because when we get time to rest, it's like a breath of fresh air.
We need that. We need that time. You know, my wife's and mine anniversary, Amanda's and I's anniversary was yesterday, actually. 20 years.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. 20-year anniversary.
20 years.
And so next week we took off a couple days, and we're going to the spa for a couple days.
That's gonna be amazing. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. It's so those times of rest, rejuvenation, right? Soaking up sun, which in Alaska, come on,
you need it.
Is important, right?
You really.
There's no beaches to lounge around up here.
You could go to Homer, Alaska, but it's still cold.
It's still cold. Yeah, it's still cold. I know Juneau is kind of more of a rainforest down there, right? And it's a little warmer, milder down there, but not around this time. No.
And you can't even access Juneau by car.
No.
You have to fly in or take a boat.
Yeah.
I think you can't drive.
Yeah, it just seems crazy that our capital to our state you can't drive to. Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's a little weird.
And the largest city in Alaska is Anchorage, which is like an hour away.
Yeah.
It only has like 300,000 people in it?
It's something super small.
Yeah. Our largest city in Alaska has roughly 300,000 people in it.
Yeah. It's very small. And so just to think about, like, we can't get to, there's one road around here that connects everything. Anchorage all the way up to the northernmost part of the state.
Yep.
Right. And it just there's no other roads. one room. It's crazy to think about.
Welcome to Alaska.
Yeah, right. Well, I know we need to start finishing up. So,
Yeah.
oh man, but it was just fun having a fun conversation with you, talking about movies and video games and all that good stuff.
I know, man. It's kind of talking about vacations. It's good to have a breath of fresh air, and this
Yeah.
was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I know you've been sick for a couple of days.
Dude, I really have been, dude. Fun fact, I had sepsis
Oh,
a couple days ago.
yeah.
And the crazy part was we have no idea where it came from. My daughter caught a stomach bug at school, and then the next day, I just got hit like a ton of bricks. Might not have to go to the hospital.
That's crazy.
But I mean,
Then your wife,
and then my
and your
wife got
son.
sick, and now my son has. It's been hitting all of us.
Yeah.
But praise God, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. But this was needed
Yeah.
to just have a chance to
My man.
convo with you and drink great coffee.
Yeah.
I already said it, but bro, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive, man. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Jesus, Coffee, and Everything Else. I'm James Klaus.
And I'm Jordan Bearden.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.